It's a brand new weekend. This is how I say good morning to you. Welcome to a fresh edition of the Star Good Morning Show. Today being Monday, the 19th of August 2019. I am Leona Rajawara, and today's inspirational quote is from Joyce Meyer. She says, "You only have one life, and if it is not going the direction you want it to, now is the time to make a change." Stories we shall be looking in the program today. The Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, has commissioned a solar-powered borehole for the people of Bozi community in Kono district. The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has received a team of Chinese marine researchers and a vessel from the People's Republic of China that will be conducting research in the territorial waters of Sierra Leone. The Minister of Information and Communications, Mohamed Gaman Soare, has reaffirmed government's commitment to repeal Part 5 of the Public Order Act that criminalizes the work of journalists. These stories and more coming up shortly. Now, the Sierra Leone National Museum is embarking on its educational program for pupils to some of the historical monumental sites in Freetown with the theme Sustainable Approach for the Preservation of our local content for prosperity. With me in the studio is the Public Education Officer, Sierra Leone National Museum, Olivette Barnett. She'll be talking to me on the importance of the exercise. Good morning, Olivette. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll be back with you shortly.
Okay.
And remember, the Star Good Morning Show is sponsored by Rokel Commercial Bank. So let's have a message from our sponsors.
SimCorp allow old and young to make deposit and withdraw cash from their account at any time and anywhere. With Rokel Commercial Bank SimCorp, you can send and receive money at any place and any time. Rokel Commercial Bank don't make life better for we all.
Good morning again. It's 6 minutes gone past 9, and this is the Star Good Morning Show. Now let's begin the program with a first news item. But remember, you can be part of the discussion today. All you need to do, send us your comment at 075 084 550. The text line is 075 084 550. Now, the Honorable Vice President of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, has on Saturday, 17th August 2019, commissioned a solar-powered borehole for the people of Bozi community in Kono district. Judge Elliot Sam has more, and in our reports.
The Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, has on Saturday, the 17th August 2019, commissioned a solar-powered borehole drilled by Adisa Company, Sierra Leone, for the people of Bese community in Kwedo City. While addressing the congregation, the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, said, "The Kono people deserve to live a better life under the presidency of retired Brigadier Julius Marabiu and the SLPP government. And as a responsible government," he said, "they have a role to play for people to have safe and pure drinking water in their communities." He further thanked the people for posing confidence in them and vote them.
Last year, we are tired. I want a market. Then the market woman, they say they want no help them for certain things. Then one of the things they want the market woman, they say they want Watana market, not to say market woman, not to this Wataya now don't build so. So the other thing the Marco promise una it will come. Today, Padam. So today, that Watawa been promised we will bring Nakono, now we don't bring so. Because I've been telling you, I say, Paupa, Watago Kana market, go to so. Paupa, Watago Kana market, go to so. Now the water this, now they can launch today. This water, not to Yanamo, is spread out the two sides of Nakono district. Other areas and day. Malaka Companse, we don't care one day. We don't care na some villages then. We will launch them all. So I want to tell everybody thank you, including the mayor and all the other stakeholders then. And all the executive of the market woman then.
He also said that these are just the beginning of many good things that will come to the people of Kono under the presidency of retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio and the SLPP government. The vice president further admonished the people that they should take good control of the facility and thank Adisa for constructing what he described as a model borehole for the people.
So the cannot what our advice now. What because una get water una need to pay the pump for the OPO. Anytime I carry they tell me say the pump they open, they need to lock, they left out and go sleep, we dey lock and back. So this water here, na trust you don't trust you now. If you soon know all and fine, we will lock her, you know go open again, we go take and go give the people away need them. Not because a government property, when you open the pump, you go left the water 10 till you see a tank. If you see left and say the water down there, it is stop. So I dey expect the market woman them to learn to take good care of this facility here. Learn to get good care of this facility here. Make it not spoil because other people they need them. Not the way you get them, you don't go take care of my spoil. So I want to tell everybody thank you. I want to tell the ministry thank you. I want to tell the stakeholders then thank you for this wonderful work they can see today. This is just the beginning of so many things what the SLPP government they do on Konori Street. Let me say. Let me tell the people of Kono, we just come out of the university, we just don't develop a fund and we don't get nearly 3 billion for help all the schools in Kono. This back now what are this? So we day, this government day is Excellency the President, Maada Bio government day, and two na know the president, na talk and do president. When talk something, it is one. It is say go help the people of Kono, this water na one of the things and this, where His Excellency they bring in addition to the university, to the school, and all the hospitals that want to try to do in Kono district. This Tabotelu say His Excellency Maada Bio, not to forget Kono very close to your heart, and Paupa, Kono most better.
In an interview, the Chief Executive Officer of Adisa Sierra Leone Limited, Alhaji Issa Sanu Bari, commended Dr. Mohamed Jule Jallow and the President, Julius Maada Bio, and the government of Sierra Leone for awarding his company the contract, as he described it as the commitment of the government and the local content policy. And further that President Bio and the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jule Jallow, are now showcasing that water is life. Thus, the government emphasis on giving safe and drinking water to every Sierra Leonean.
Lucky for say the Honorable Vice President, Dr. Jule Jallow, himself, and Income Commission today with the ministry. We would all do thanks to His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, for the great opportunity where he give we the local content companies then for growth. And just like we always strive and say, we will fight for make sure say with his support we no go let them down as local content companies. We always strive the best for work hard for them and at the same time for work for people then, because this is our country. If we fail, now all fail. So we make sure say we push and go before. What in this mean? This just to show how bigger opportunity where it lies ahead. The only thing as a contractor, me na the begin, me na we, because Mrs. Sen are co-return here upon. This is an opportunity for me. If they take care of the Asti community, for make them take good care of this facility, them pumps here, them water well here, because if they destroy the well, just like the Honorable Vice President said, then we go down, take another opportunity from themselves to make them give them more. If they take care of this one, the government get lots in stock for them, not just this one. Sometimes, it's like in the next months to come, they will get maybe like 5-6 of these boreholes around just this area and all over the country.
Adisa Sierra Leone Limited is a private company registered in Sierra Leone since 2011, specialized in borehole drilling and geographical investigation. For Star News in Freetown, George Elliott Sam reporting.
George Elliott Sam reporting there, and this is the Star Good Morning Show. Like I earlier said, Olivette Barnett is with me in the studio as the Sierra Leone National Museum is embarking on its educational program for pupils and students to some of the historical monumental sites in Freetown with the theme Sustainable Approach for the Preservation of our Local Content for Prosperity. Good morning again, Olivette.
Good morning.
Okay. First, let's get the concept of this whole idea. Organizing an educational program for pupils and students. What is this initiative all about?
Well, it's an initiative which the ministry thought it fit through the government to complement the educational sector, because the Sierra Leone National Museum is directly under the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. And this initiative has been implemented since 2002 along the West African coast. It's something like they call WAMP, West Africa Museum Programs. Okay, museums in West Africa come together and thought it fit that it's our time the National Museum go to the school, they implement some outreach programs, and also do events that will help to sustain the effort of the educational sector through the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. Okay, so that's exactly what we are doing. When it all started, it was WAMP that was sponsoring it, and later on, at the age of 4 to 5 years, WAMP look at it and said, no, your country need to assist now because we've gave birth to the child. And so the child has already walked, the child is in nursery, and the child will soon go to preschool. So it's our time the government, the country decided to take upon it and continue it. And it's a sustainable program. And then we are having the effort of the embassies, like American Embassy, German embassies, who we are coming to our aid, to the museum aid to assist. Okay, and then from there the government took over, and that was during the time of President Kaba. The government started giving something while the embassies also give a little in order to sustain it. And during the days of the previous government, they were taking care of it, and up to now. So he's now a youth. He's no longer a child. Okay. So he's now a youth, and it's still going on.
All right, so since the start of this whole exercise, how has it been like? What were the things that you teach, the skills that you teach the pupils?
Well, the things that the museum focus attention on is how best we can able to sustain and then preserve the history, culture, and tradition of our native land, and for posterity. Okay, and that is what the museum has been doing all this while since the establishment of it on the 10th December 1957. Okay, that's exactly what it has been doing. In order for Sierra Leoneans to know their identity, who they are, and try to maintain it. Okay, so the museum is there to help you to know, and also how best you can maintain it. Okay, your culture, your tradition, and history. And so, and normally it's something that always comes during external exams in the schools, as well as even the university level. It's not only preschools, secondary, but also university level, tertiary, because it's very, very vital. Like the department in Frabe College, they have the cultural department that deals directly to the museum, African studies. Okay, and also even in the university being established in Makeni, and also even the Lincoln University and IPAM, Jala also, and all these things. So they also engage, and even outside diaspora. Okay, because we have students who are Americans, British, from different parts of the world who come to do research. Sometimes they come for 2 months, 3 months to know about African history as well as Sierra Leone history and all those things, and specific objects maybe that we call artifacts that they want to learn about that Sierra Leone does have.
Okay, you talk about preserving history, preserving a culture, but many times pupils, especially pupils in primary school coming to secondary school, they don't respect history. They don't respect going to the museum, searching for artifacts to know what those artifacts stand for. So over the years, like you said, how has this exercise changed that perception of the pupils?
Thank you very much. It has really changed the perspective and the aspect of that from the pupils and students greatly, because when this project was implemented, we see the museum, taking the museum to the schools that they call the mobile museum. It all started Okay, we are in the museum, we go to the schools and say, oh, we are here, we want to, in the area of social study, art and craft, want to come with the object that you are teaching these kids for them to see. And that is how the schools also have the initiative, and it's like a cultural habit now to them to come with the pupils and students to the museum. So we does have it, okay? This, that, and that. And even the university, they will come with the student to the museum, and the museum will go to the university. That's exactly what we're doing now. Okay, previously it was not like that, but now that's exactly what we're doing in order for them to know exactly. Because I'll give you an instance, like an example of somebody who said, oh, in Sierra Leone, there is an object that you have that are called soapstones sculptures. Can you describe it for me? Do you know it? And if you don't go to the museum, you don't know what is this soapstone sculpture. And it's something that falls from the prehistoric period up to now, when man started development. It all started with the brain, where man used stones to carve, and used stones to light, used stones to as a saw, and so many things before the Iron Age. And they use it as a memorial lane, okay, in order to identify those that have passed, who are heroes and all these things. And they use it as fertility also for their crops and so many things. They use it for decoration. They call it spirit figure for their heroes, and also their what will I say, their crown, like the kingdom, the paramount chief, the chiefdom, etc.
So this exercise is for students and pupils as well. But do you also include the locals, and wherein people can get a proper knowledge of our historical heritage?
Yeah, thank you very much. We do include the locals, especially the communities. Okay, our age limit is from 10 years to 25. Maybe we manage 27 years. Okay, we focus on the youth. That's exactly what we do. We focus on the youth.
Okay. Let's look at the perception also of the parents, because I remember growing up, I was one person who liked art and craft, but you have some parents, they don't take that particular subject seriously. And when you go to the university, people, students reading African studies, people don't take them seriously, thinking they are wasting their time, which is not correct. So how do you see that perception of people?
Well, interestingly, it's something that we are encountering. Okay, we do face those challenges when we pay visit to the university as well as schools, and when we do have meetings with the school heads, like the principals, the head teachers, and all these things. We do face those challenges. But our time when we were going to school, it was not like that. Okay, because when we, in our art and craft section, social study or integrated science, and up to college level, we are maintaining it. It's only now, this time, because as a result of the civic education is out, that is why they encounter these challenges. Okay, but we always say, I always tell the students, I'm talking to the audience now, that it's a God-given talent. It's a God-given talent. I made mention of it over the radio station earlier on, that this is a God-given talent, and we as a parent don't need to destroy it from the child. We don't need to. This is why, if you look at the international, like other country, we always say the white man are ahead of us, because they started studying this baby when he started to crawl, and taking a step and see all the activity surrounding the baby that the baby loves to do, and that is how they can identify who this baby will be tomorrow. And if we started it again, okay, because in fact the minister has taken the museum to Bo and Kenema district, and after that the museum will go to Bombali, which is Port Loko and McKinney, before we started going to the other district. But these are the 4 regions that we've already take as a focal points for now. But presently we are in Freetown. We are working, because this is an event that has started since 2002. We've been doing it, and it is successful. And even education satisfied with it, the Ministry of Education and Technology. They're also satisfied with it because one way or the other, the museum is there to come and complement what they are teaching them in the theoretical aspect. The museum come with the practical, the visual learning. Okay, so it's very, very vital. But I tell you today, if you go to the museum, you spend at least maybe 2 hours, you will see a lot of students coming in. Okay, because we are looking at the Sierra Leone, the government of Sierra Leone has expanded the knowledge of tourism, okay, to students, to Sierra Leoneans, and so they know what it means. And so if you want to be equipped as a specialized or professional of tourism, okay, you have to know Sierra Leone. And how would you know Sierra Leone? It's when you come to the Sierra Leone National Museum. That's the time you know the identity of Sierra Leone. You know Sierra Leoneans, you know each and every ethnic group in Sierra Leone, you know what they hold, what it takes, and all those things. You know the unique and valuable history of Sierra Leone and its tradition.
So how do you do the selection? Is it by schools for the whole exercise?
No, well, we do the selection according to the age. That is why, because before I was not in a museum, normally it was open. So they have, it's like it was a babysitter and all those things. And then I said, no, at least we need to limit the age so that we will not have a lot of headache. Okay? Because after the orientation in the museum, we do take them out as a conducted tour for them to see historical places that is being nationalized by the heads of the country, our government, okay, like historical monuments, relics, and all those things. And now we've complemented it with local content that will be going to some of these factories where they are doing it, they are manufacturing it, like the fabric that we use, the country cloth, will be going to crafting where they are doing the process of the pure cotton of Sierra Leone that has been planted here is what they are going to teach them. And also the gara dyeing, and also we have some skills oriented who are doing some of our cultural food like Benin cake, granite cake, and pemaun. These are the things that are these are healthy food for us because it's being grown here. But our people are giving their kids spaghetti, couscous, all those things, and always you see complication. Mommy my head, mommy my this, mommy my that. But if you give them a well done good food that is not being preserved with chemical, I think that gives an healthy body. And so these are the things that we'll focus on this time.
Okay, we will talk about the exercise more. But now let's look at the museum as a body, because the museum represents a heritage. It represents historical monuments and all. What is the present status of the museum? Because over the years, there hasn't been much things to talk about. So presently, what is the present status of the museum?
Well, I will say for now, well, we thank God the present state of the museum under our previous government and also the present government. The present government, they are doing a fabulous work. The museum has got a new face look. Okay, previously when you go, you will see the structure very old, but it has got a new face look, and that one was done by the previous chairman of the Monumental Relics Commission, Isatu Smith, and which we are so grateful about. Always we say and kudos to her for that, for that step that she took under the previous government. And also this government is also doing fabulous things, like in the area of discharging our duties, especially implementing projects. The government is there to give, is there to sponsor it. Now we don't have any other body that is sponsor anymore. It's only the government that is doing everything, because trying to complement the free quality educations. So we to give the civic educations, okay, to the students and peoples, and to indigenous in Sierra Leone.
Okay, but what about the visitors you have in the museum compared to over the years? Is it more appreciable now?
Very, very appreciable. Very, very. Because we have a lot of tourists, When I talk about tourists, because I'm a tourist professional, a tourism professional, you too, you are a tourist, okay? And hence, Sierra Leoneans are tourists, international are tourists. So when we say tourists, that doesn't mean that it's only the white man, no. Blacks are tourists, white are tourists. You can be a tourist if you want to enjoy your leisure. You leave your house, you pay the visit to the National Museum, you spend your own money, okay? You are not paid. So the moment you spend your money for at least a day, 24 hours, you are a tourist, okay? Nobody paid you, but you use your own money to enjoy yourself, to have pleasure, to satisfy your ego, you know, and all those things. So Sierra Leoneans are also tourists. So we do have a lot, both domestic and international.
All right, continue to stay with me, Olivet Barnett. When we come back, we shall talk more about your exercise. Remember, this is the Star Good Morning Show coming to you live here from Star TV on Channel 21. Let's go in for another issue. Now, the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has on Monday, 12th August 2019, received a team of Chinese marine researchers and a vessel from the People's Republic of China that will be conducting research in the territorial waters of Sierra Leone. The exercise, according to the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Madam Emma Kouajalo, is aimed at quantifying and generate comprehensive statistics report on the available fish species and fish stock that will help in making informed management decisions. Abdulrahman Kamara compiled this report, read by Yesi Hallowell.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has on Monday, 12th August 2019, received a team of Chinese marine researchers and a vessel from the People's Republic of China, where they will be conducting research in the territorial waters of Sierra Leone. According to the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Emma Kouajalo, the exercise is aimed at quantifying and generate comprehensive statistics report on the available fish species and fish stock that will help in making informed management decisions. She revealed that the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources is currently holding sensitization meeting across the districts on the National Plan of Action to deter, prevent and eliminate illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing and the new fisheries and aquaculture regulations. Sierra Leone, unlike other countries in West Africa, is endowed with mineral, agricultural and other natural resources, which could form the basis of a productive economy and a prosperous society. Marine resources, one of the country's natural resources, has been a challenge in the management of fisheries for strong economic growth, and hence the importance of the kaleidoscope of this story in the history of fishing and fisheries activity in Sierra Leone.
How much fish we got, it will help us to know the species, to know the type of vessels that we'll be registering in future, to know how many vessels we'll be able to register. But then we'll be able to know the stock, at least a holistic way to know the stock that we've got. This will be one of the major management measures that we'll have to put in place in the future. It's going to be a 3-year venture, on and off. It will be done during the rainy season and during the dry season. So for Sierra Leoneans, when you see this vessel, you know they're purely here to do surveillance work, to do a stock assessment. It will be obviously scientists that will be on board. This will cost us a huge amount if we wanted to hire a vessel to come and do the stock assessment. At least we'll now have a comprehensive report after the end of every year of what really you will have. So comparison into 3 years period, we'll be able to know what we've got in our waters and how to manage them.
It is known that productive and well-managed fisheries can make an important sustainable contribution to economic growth. Countries with strong economic growth, coupled with good governance in general, also show an increase in prosperity, social life and reduced poverty rate. Fisheries, according to the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Emma Kouajalo, play a wider role in the economy and for the benefit of all citizens of a country. The direct benefits associated with participation in fisheries, example, food supply, employment and income, have already been well documented in Sierra Leone and many other countries in West Africa by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, for example. Managing fisheries for the benefit of all citizens according to the Director of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Madam Jallo, requires a different type of policy approach, one which looks beyond the conventional boundaries of the sector, that recognizes the undervalued potential wealth of fish resources, which utilizes innovative and proven methods of fisheries management.
A surface with the Nansen that was funded by the FAO, but we have never had a vessel coming to Sierra Leone to stay for 3 years to do a continuous research. Those research has been done for 1 month, 2 months, but this one is going to stay for the 6 months for the rainy season, 6 months for the dries, and then for a period of 3 years, we get the correct result from the survey data that will tell us, we call it the biomass, the actual stock that we have, that will guide us on how to license fishing vessels. Because they are telling us that, oh, our stock is depleted, but we don't have actual scientific data. We have been using precautionary approach to make sure that we limit the number of vessels, but we never had the correct information. That's why we appeal to the Chinese for them to bring in this vessel to stay for 3 years for us to have this comprehensive university, the Institute of Marine Biology and Oceanography, and also we have from Jala. There is fisheries research in Jala. They will also be on board to help us collect and analyze this data.
The fisheries sector is estimated to provide employment and a source of livelihood for over 500,000 people, mainly in coastal communities. Fish is the most important source of animal protein for the majority of the population. The Sierra Leone water is prone to illegal fishing, with many of the illegal fishing trawlers coming from Asia. Official accounts indicate that the country loses millions of dollars yearly to illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. Reporting for Star Television News, I am Yessi Hallowell.
Many thanks, CSC. 9:35 is the time from our studio clock, and you're still watching the Star Good Morning Show live here on Star TV, channel 21. Olivet Barnett is still with me in the studio. Now, Olivet, let's look at your theme, sustainable approach for the preservation of a local content for prosperity, which is very, very key. Tell us about that theme, and what are some of the approaches you think we should adopt as a nation?
As a nation, we should adopt positive approach towards what we have in sustaining them. Okay? We should not look at what we have in Sierra Leone and say, no, it's not good. You try to, like what normally some of the students will say to me whenever I engage them in discussion. They will say, Auntie Olivet, some of us, we are fake, we are false. We pretend as if like we are from the diaspora, we are from America or UK. Sometimes my friend will pay a visit to me. The moment my mom will prepare, maybe it is potato leaf or cassava, if I call them to join me, they will not say, no, I don't eat this kind of food. I eat this, which is bad, you know. We need to sustain it. We need to let we the parents, we are the one that really need to play a great role towards that. To let our children know who we are, where we came from, what are the things that we should respect most. We should respect our culture. We should respect our East. We should respect our tradition. We need to be proud of ourselves. We don't need to be fake because I have money today, so I should forget that I'm a Sierra Leonean. No. If you go to Ghana, you go to Nigeria, you go to East Africa, these people are so proud of themselves. Even in South Africa, it's only Sierra Leoneans mostly. People say, in fact, most people always engage me and say, Sierra Leone, we don't have any culture. That's exactly what they will say. But I know we do have it. It is not dead. It is alive. It's only that we are neglecting it. And it's our time we need to reflect our minds back and try to rebirth ourselves and know exactly who we are and maintain it.
Okay. Now, the National Museum is one of the landmark of Sierra Leone. It is very, very historic. What is the role of the museum in general?
Well, the role of the museum is very big, okay? But I will give you a few of it. The Sierra Leone National Museum. Now, we've been talking about, before ever I answer that question, I'm sorry about it. We've been talking about the Sierra Leone National Museum. Maybe somebody out there will want to say, where is it? Is it located? The Sierra Leone National Museum is right at the heart of the city, right underneath the country tree. Okay, the majestic country tree within Pademba Road and Shaker Stevens Street that has given us a good, sweet cultural landscape, beautifying the city. Okay, and also taking care of the city, the day-to-day activity of it. That's the role of the country tree. Underneath it, you will see the Sierra Leone National Museum. Okay, at the harbor of it. So that is where the National Museum is. And the National Museum is playing a very vital role towards society. The museum is there to maintain Sierra Leoneans, to keep what we have, to help you to identify yourself, to bring a mind of appreciation to our young kids that are coming up, to those that even that we've not yet given birth to posterity. That's exactly what the museum is for. And the museum is there to educate people that will come to Sierra Leone. If you want to know about Sierra Leone, from the airport, your first step in the capital should be the National Museum. There you will learn about the indigenous of Sierra Leone and the unique history and culture of Sierra Leone. The migration of most of these ethnic groups today who are here and how they become Sierra Leoneans. You will know exactly about them. So this is the education and focal point Sierra Leone and the National Museum is giving to the indigenous in Sierra Leone, for them to really know their culture and maintain it, okay? And also our tradition, which is so unique. That is it.
Okay. Now, education, the museum is organizing educational program for pupils and students. What is that connection with education and the National Museum?
It has a very vast connection because there are certain modules which we are implementing that complement some of the curriculum, the subject matters, okay? The syllabus that has been given to education has been given to the schools, and so it's very, very important. And it also complements the vocational institution, and this is a tech voc, okay? Because most times people always say, oh, we don't see anything. People, you go for engineering, a lot of qualified graduates who are engineers are in town, they don't have job. It's the same thing with, I'm sending my kid to go and study law. When he came out from the law school, there is no way he can occupy any chamber, okay, in order to be a lawyer who can take care of matters arising between conflict of people and all those things. They are still there. So they are now, the population is overpopulated, lawyers, doctors, and all these things. And so it's that time, let our children know their talent. Help them to identify it. I will confess this. The most, what will I say, richest individual in the world, I'll tell you, is on the tech voc. He's not lawyer, he's not medical doctor. So we are misleading our kids, okay? A carpenter can be a millionaire tomorrow. A seamstress or a tailor can be a millionaire tomorrow, okay? Somebody that study food, a caterer, okay, can be a millionaire tomorrow. So many things. Those that are doing the fabric, the natural fabric, can be, because I'll tell you, if you go and take all the inventory of the machinery that they have, the skills that they have and all, is more than billions or trillions. I'm telling you, because God prepared them for that purpose, and that is where their talent lies, and that can make them rich and the family rich. So let's stop telling our kids that you should go for a lawyer, you should go for a doctor, you should go for engineer, you should go for nurse. Let them try to exhibit their talent. That will help most.
Right. Let's look at the artifacts in the museum, which people are more happy to see. Everybody that goes to the museum wants to see it. How do you go about the museum I'm talking about in preserving those artifacts?
Thank you very much for that questions. The artifact that we have in the museum, we call it object for the secondary school and primary schools. And we call it object, and tertiary we call it artifact. But the jargon of the National Museum, okay, museology is artifact. These artifacts has been preserved. Some of them are more than 50 years old. More than that, they've been preserved. We have two types of preservation. We have the local one, that is the traditional one, and then we have the English type, okay, where we use some of these chemical. There are certain chemicals that do the museum does order from London, okay, German in there too. Through the embassy, they will assist in the museum sometimes in all these things that we'll use to preserve them. But the traditional aspect of preservation is more vital. Okay, like for instance, that if you go to the museum, you want to get a conducted tour, we will tell you that please don't touch our object because the palm carry bacteria. As long as you're shaking hands, you're using it for something else, it does carry bacteria, and those bacteria, they are somehow, what will I say? They are not good for the object. Okay, because you touch it, you will leave it there. Most of these objects are wooden objects and also stones. Even though we have few metals. So this is why we say, and that is even why we build in a showcases like a glass mirror of cupboard where we showcase the items. Okay, so you cannot touch them. Those that are out that are not showcased in a case, we always plead to it that please don't touch, and you have it also at the notice that you should not touch on the wall.
The museum is under the Ministry of Tourism. How much has it complemented the Ministry of Tourism in terms of nation building?
It does greatly. It does complement the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. I want you to know that culture born tourism. Culture gave birth to tourism. Where there is no culture, there is no tourism. Okay? Culture is a broad term. It's something that engages custom, traditions, in all this. Even though the shortest definition of it is a daily life. Yes, it's a daily life, but the activity of man, it's human resource. That's what tourism look and market. Tourism is there to market. So without culture, there is no tourism. So culture give birth, culture beautify, culture prepare, tourism come and rebrand and market it. Okay? So that is the work of tourism. Rebrand it, make it more beautiful so that the tourists will sit and become more attractive and say, oh, let me go for the service. And then they pay for the service. So that's the work of tourism. Okay, so the museum complement greatly.
All right.
It is the cultural house of Sierra Leone.
And would you say more funding is coming from the museum?
Yeah, from the government. That I will say, I will confess it here, due to the vibrant minister that we have from the previous to now. Now she has increased it, and she's always at the museum. Even the other agencies, whenever they have activity, she always motivates them to go to the museum to do it. And that is the work of a national museum in any country. Okay, it's supposed to be engaged every day. Not only the government should use it, but even private sector, NGOs should use it, schools should come and use it, the community should use it, society should, everybody need to use. Even those that will write book and say, this book I am going to launch, my book is so in this area and this area, they should come to the museum and launch it, and then give a copy to the museum. Whatever things that you create today, if you have a brain, a talent of creating what will I say, an helicopter or whatever, where you should supposed to launch it, it at the National Museum. So okay, and then you leave your biography of how you came about it, how you does it and all these things, because that the museum is there to sell what exactly we have as a talent, okay, and our people live for us. That's exactly the museum showcase and show people, say, oh, this person, you can go to this person, it does have this knowledge. That is where, if the government want to operate a factory or whatever, it goes to the museum. You can easily identify those people. Even chieftaincy, when royal family want to vie for them, maybe they don't have information about the past chiefs or those that previously in those, they will come to the museum and say, oh, we want to have information about so, because that is the work of the museum, the National Museum.
Would you want to say there is need to popularize the Sierra Leone National Museum more?
And that is what we're doing. This is one aspect of it. And we've been doing it. We've been preaching the sermon. It's not only now. It's something that I met and I took it from my predecessors and I'm doing it. It's something that we are doing always.
You're not having the
always.
Is it?
Well, we do have few feedback, even though it's somehow encouraging, but we need more. We need more. We need Sierra Leoneans to identify themselves and say, this is my own little village heritage, okay? And I am the one that should maintain it and feed it. Because if we Sierra Leoneans don't feed the National Museum, we always sit there and we don't have anything to tell our children. And we always say we don't have culture. Why? Ours is very unique. If you have traveled to within the West Africa, you know that Sierra Leone culture is very unique and mixed. I will give you an example. Some of this cultural food that we eat, it's only few of them you find some of this West African country. But you have the majority of it. What they are eating is in here. It's in Sierra Leone. Okay. Sierra Leone make things unique and all those things.
Now let's look again at your educational program. What is the planned event for this exercise? Okay,
the planned event is this. We started on the 26th of August, which is next Monday. And we will finish at the 31st as a result of the school date for reopen. We are thinking that it will be on the 11th, but now government says the 2nd September. So we're going to do it just for a week. Our students, pioneers who are out there, you know that the museum normally do it for 2 weeks. So this is the situation we have now, but we pray that we'll manage that time and do a lot of it. And the time frame will be 9 a.m. until 4:30 every day. And on Thursday and Fridays, where we have the conducted tour to some of our historical sites as well as local content manufacturing sites. We will do that. And also we have about 15 modules that we're going to implement. Okay? We have professionals, tutors and lecturers from college, from university, and then from the ministry. Okay? And then from the locals also we do have. But these are professionals because they know their subject areas. And also we look at the age limit. It's from 10 years up to 25, maybe 27 we can allow. Okay? And if you want to join us for the conducted tour, you don't want to come for the orientation from Monday to Wednesday, you want to join us for the conducted tour, you are welcome. The fees is 15,000 euros. Still 15,000. Not increase, not decrease, except we have a word from the ministry. Then if at all it's going to increase, then we will let you know. Okay? Because the museum is under the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. The minister is supposed to do that through the government. Okay,
I'll come back to you shortly. Let's take a final insert for today. Now, the Minister of Information and Communications, Mohamed Rahman Soare, during the official handing over to the new SLAJ executive by the outgoing president of SLAJ, has reaffirmed government's commitment to repeal Part 5 of the Public Order Act that criminalizes the work of journalists. Hassan Kuruma was there and he files in this report.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Communications, Mohamed Rahman Soare, while delivering his speech, noted that they as a government have learned a lot from the situation, thereby going through a successful transition period, adding that the ministry is in readiness to work with SLAJ, especially in providing skills for specialized reporting and providing annual subvention to the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, which will help boost the financial strength of the executive in running the affairs of the association. The Honorable Minister made commitment of the repeal of the criminal libel law before the next United Nations Summit.
It's always good to keep the very best for the last. On the repeal of the criminal libel laws, I still want to be on record. I mean, it's so easy to say governments have come, they have committed, they haven't done it. Ours is a top and government, His Excellency is irrevocably committed to repealing the criminal libel laws 1965. You will not count for too long anymore. We still believe that by the time we return, we go to the United Nations General Assembly this year. We will tout that as one of the key successes our administration has done. We will do it. We are on the path to doing it. You see how many people who say, oh, this is been a campaign promise. When we make commitments, it is not for a campaign. We believe it is the right and proper thing to do. So we'll be doing that. I am pleased within myself that we have made considerable progress. I have not seen His Excellency for the last couple of weeks. But yesterday, he saw on me the single item on the agenda was where I will do this process. So I know he has very, very, very serious interest in the repeal process. Because we really think you are doing a fantastic job. As the media, you have an important role to play in national development. You should not be gagged. You should not be. You should not have a double sword over your neck as you practice your profession. Politicians don't have, medical doctors don't have, the other practitioners don't have, so why should you? Let me use the opportunity to mention in the last couple of days, there have been efforts by the National Telecommunications Commission and the Independent Media Commission to regularize registration of radio stations, TV stations, and newspapers. This should not be construed as an attempt to gag the press. We are the biggest lovers of free press. But let us also ensure that the president says obey rules and regulations is signed up to. We do not by any means, any stretch of the imagination intend to inhibit your work. We believe in the free press, we want to depict the space, but I'm told we held order is the first law. You cannot be a community radio station, you cannot be your basic spectrum of speed for 3 years, you cannot be a newspaper that has never registered, you cannot be a radio station that does not meet your obligations. This is a law and order society, so we crave your indulgence to show understanding with us and to encourage media operators to be in line with the law. Finally, let me take this opportunity to congratulate the mom and this executive. I have no doubt in the caliber of men and women I see on your executive. I wish to pledge government support to work with you to ensure that we are able to achieve our objectives. I am not going to talk about salaries for media houses. That is one issue we'll be collaborating on very seriously. I see reporters, some of them very bright, some of them with huge potentials, who are supposed to be journalists, whose only claim to be journalists is that they have a press accreditation card. They don't have salaries, which is in itself a violation of the law. They are not paid, they are nurses, provisions are not being honored, and a lot more. We will be working closely with the Newsline Executive, Sierra Leone Reporters Union, and other bodies. Kelvin, you have left behind a proud legacy. This marriage will be seamless because we will not be seeking to gather. We will only insist on responsible practice. I see a lot of opportunities for collaboration and cooperation with social media, with supporting Slash.
The outgoing president, Kelvin Lewis, reaffirmed his continual support to the incoming executive, making clear that the task ahead is huge and challenging, but however, have profound trust in the incoming executive.
But, like Mr. Chairman said, it is a thankless job, yes, but at the end of the day, one would feel fulfilled because when I started 6 years ago, I said I was coming, and I made that statement again in this hall, that I was coming into Slash leadership to give back to journalism. That journalism has given me a lot. I have traveled to many places, I have spoken to presidents, heads of state, and all of that. I've also gone to the dark places. The flood that took place yesterday, I remember the flood, at Krube, I had to walk through very nasty water, all of that. So journalism has shown me I have been to the top, I have been to the bottom.
Ahmed Sahid Nasrallah is the newly elected president of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists. While making his statement at the occasion, started off by extending hands of gratitude to the outgoing executive, stating that it has been a great pleasure working with them. He opined that his first mounting task is to facilitate in the repeal of the criminal libel law, and also called on all journalists to use the IMC Code and Acts as guidance in our daily practice.
To you, the general membership, thank you again for voting me in as your president. Team Mom, a big thank you. All those who supported my candidacy from both within and without, I thank you also. I assure you again of my resolute but accommodating leadership. Together we are going to deliver. We must deliver. To Team Mustafa Sisi, I say well done. Thank you for your participation in this year's election. Thank you for also testing the democratic credentials of our beloved SLAG by petitioning processes and outcome of these elections. I believe there are lessons in the land which we will take note of going forward. Be rest assured that you are an integral part of this administration. Now the time is finally here. It is time to roll up our sleeves, buckle our boots. Let's get to work. The challenges ahead are many, but we are determined. We will listen, we will consult, and we will engage. Historically, our priority challenge is twofold. The first is to accomplish the repeal of the criminal libel law. We are encouraged that our determination seems to be in sync with the political will of the leadership of the current government of Sierra Leone. But so it was again with the previous government. Nevertheless, it's time to take off from where we left. It is our first task. We have to finish this before another national elections loom. The second historical challenge is to ensure responsible practice across the board, even with our politically motivated colleagues. We have a program on mentorship and training. We will knock on as many doors as possible for support in the area of general media trainings, specialized trainings, capacity building, and sustainability for our membership and their media houses. We will work with the Mass Communication Department, the Public College, to support us develop training formats. We therefore urge all practicing journalists, as well as PROs, who are not yet members of SLAG, to come under the umbrella body when we announce the notice for new intakes. We will reconstitute our disciplinary committee and give them the necessary support to be proactive, efficient, and effective. We acknowledge the new challenge in social media, WhatsApp and Facebook especially. We will cooperate with the government of Sierra Leone, other media stakeholders, CSOs, and other well-meaning organizations or institutions to initiate steps to address this huge challenge. We insist on continued national education on the responsible use of social media, of these new media platforms and the benefits therein for the nation as well as all of us. However, in the meantime, we encourage our colleagues to apply the same professional and ethical ethos provided in our code of ethics and the IMC code of practice on any media platform they find themselves. We want to caution our colleagues and the general public, especially the so-called citizen journalists, that the seditious laws, criminal libel laws, the civil defamation laws, in fact, the whole of Part 5 of the famous Public Order Act of 1965 are all applicable on social media as well. So be mindful with your statements on social media. Be careful with your opinions, your posts. what you call, what you share. To our regional executives, our affiliate bodies, SWASA, SLRU, WIMSA, Dr. Reporters Association, Parliamentary Press Gallery, we want to strengthen your modus operandi and ensure responsible leadership, accountability, and transparency right across. We urge you to reorganize and come up with fundraising initiatives to keep you active throughout your tenure. Guild editors and radio and TV station managers, we also urge you to wake up and take your rightful place as gatekeepers in the media. You should be setting the agenda for the national discourse. When you are strong, Islam becomes stronger. So we urge you all to stand up and let us work together to push the media and our country forward. We will work closely with the IMC, MATCOM, and the MRCG. Together we will sit down with the media and try to understand their challenges and collectively find amicable and practicable solutions. But first of all, we call on all media houses and our members and colleagues to respect these statutory institutions that were established to regulate the media. Meanwhile, we call on government to continue to support the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC, strengthen its regional offices, improve the capacity and welfare of its staff, and give it independent, true public service broadcaster.
The well-attended occasion was climaxed with the awarding and presentation of checks to various.
Alright, so now let's wrap up the program for today. Now, quickly, Olivet, what message would you like to pass on? And now, would you want to encourage parents to let their children come out?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, and I'll borrow your language. Please, my dear fellow parents, I'm kindly asking you to allow your kids, okay, to go to the National Museum to do the registration. Registration is now open. We have a lot of registration form that they will come to you with for you to help them to fill it, because there is an area where the parent too should answer, and because we want to get the consensus of the parent, that is why we did the form that way. And the registration fee is 15,000 leons. And I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much to Star TV, the management, the heads, and also to our interviewer, and also say kudos to the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, our minister, our deputy minister, our cultural orator, who is a professional in the area of culture, our vibrant cultural affairs director. Kudos to you, and also to our permanent secretary. And I would like to say thank you very much, Madam Curator, for the work you are doing in the museum. God bless you, and God continue to sustain you and give you more knowledge.
Okay, thank you. When is the date again?
The date is, it will start next Monday, which is on the 26th, and until the 31st will be the closing, and we're going to give certificates, okay? And then it is going to be 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Sometimes we add an hour as a result of the cultural activity that we do have. Maybe they want to do a drama, you know, for the closing and all these things, and some of the practicals that we have. So looking forward for you, students, pupils, 10 years to 25 years to go and register. Don't look at yourself and say, I'm not going to school, I don't know nothing. But if you want to participate, you're welcome from the community.
Thank you so very much, Olivet Barnett, Education Officer, Sierra Leone National Museum. We've been talking about an educational program the museum will be coming up with for students and pupils in Sierra Leone. And that's how we end the program for today. Don't forget to catch up with me tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another edition. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Leona Rajawara, leaving you with our inspirational quotes from Joyce Meyer. She says, you only have one life, and if it is not going in the direction you want it to, now is the time to make a change. Stay blessed.